Hello all, and welcome to this discussion or this improvised sort of panel around LuYang's performance, DOKU Giant, LuYang the Destroyer. I'm really happy to welcome all the audience and surely to welcome all the guests that we have together with us. I'm really grateful that we did have time for that. I will briefly introduce us and probably just give a start for the discussion. So my name is Nikita Nechayev. I'll be moderating this talk, and I'm a research curator at Garage Digital, which hosted the performance. We have together with us today LuYang, who is a multimedia or transmedia artist who makes animation, video games, hybrid installations, and performances. We have Andrew Crowe, who is a co-founder and technical director at MetaObjects, and Ashley Wong, who is a co-founder and artistic director at MetaObjects, and she's a creator and researcher as well. We also have Banzay, who is a Russian dancer, performer, and teacher of choreography of contemporary dance. And he was the performer at the event. And we also have Stas Sharifullin, also known as HMOT, who is a composer and artist who works with sound and cultural context of sound. A while ago, or just not even a while ago, pretty recently, we had this great performance by LuYang, and the people we have here today were the ones who made it possible through different types of collaboration and production. And this is surely not even the whole team that took part in this pretty in this really like multi-layered performance. And we thought that it would be great to look at different particular types of activities that were involved there and different layers of the work and see how it is structured all in all. And I think we could begin with looking at just the practice of Lu as a whole. And my question first would be for Lu, and I will surely encourage all of you to jump in and have questions or reactions as we go. I will also mention here that if you are watching us on YouTube, feel free to post questions or reactions there as well, and we will turn to them during the talk or probably at the end as well. So Lu, your practice is of a multitude of formats and media, and you work with everything from installation to music to dance to moving image with online and offline presence. And this is surely something of a high amount of transmediality working here. And I was wondering what was your way to this kind of medium, and how do you see its development, probably concerning like the DOKU performance as well?
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's I born in this kind of about the history, like on this history, like we can face to lots of different technology and different like global informations. When I was a childhood, I received a lot of information from everywhere. So in my mind, I don't think there's so much boundary between culture and between art. That's why I can combine all those different kind of medium and art forms together. And now we have so many tools like those kind of technology. We can use game engine to create everything. And I think it's just to choose the best tools for me. Just for me, it's like a quicker and easier to create my own world.
Yes, so this world of DOKU is actually realized in a game engine, and I would be really interested in talking about that as well. But and together with that, it is kind of, this world is formulated or built around this character who is actually an avatar, Doku. So I was wondering, what is Doku's story and what is like the lore of Doku? How does it live in this world?
Yes. So I'm going to share my screen, and I can share something first. Share computer. There's a Doku making documentary, like for I think it's a start from 2015. I've already using my own character as the main avatar in my works. For example, some past works like LuYang Delusional Manner, which already showing show all around the world many times. And Doku is like 100% 3D scan from my face, and I put this face on a asexual body, which I think this is my perfect imagine, like how the human being, how I'm a human being to be in this world, and this is the way I make it. So this is the 3D scan, and I scan over 50 blank shape of my face. You can see I trying to do different facial motions, yeah. So they have some like they have a stable like 50 blank shapes of those face. And this is the company I'm cooperating. They're based in Shenzhen. And we build everything in Unreal Engine at first. So you can see that's quite very detailed, a lot of details on the face. Hence, something like this. This is how we do facial capture. So this is the video, like I'm recording my facial movements for my first cooperation with a very famous rock and roll band, the 1975, and I use this kind of facial data on Doku, and Doku are singing their song in the music video. And I also went to Indonesia to collect some very incredible motion data. So in Indonesia, they have a lot of different kind of style of dance, and they can use their eyebrows or fingers or like their facial movements for dance, which is like for me, I think the dance history is they already have it for 1,000 years, and it really looks like a human beings. They really want to train themselves into a robot. So I think a robot is not a idea from like for now, but I think it already exists in human history. Also invited tattoo artists like design different tattoo for Doku, and this is the one which we did the cooperation with the Garage Museum. And also I have this is in this video I combined the motion data and the facial data which I captured from Indonesia. The motion data is from a Tokyo dancer Kinkin, and it's it's a pop dance, and the facial motions is from another Indonesia dancer. He practiced his dance, like facial dance, eyeball dance from 5 years old. Then I can apply all those data on Doku without any training.
Dokushi.
And also, you can see that that's quite very detailed facial. And I have a facial capture documentary here. So you can see this. It's how we apply the facial data from the dancer to my face in 3D in game engine, and all the facial limited I can do is from my own brain shape, not so it's still my own facial motions.
Dokushi.
Yeah, I think I just showing some technology part about Doku. And yes, so maybe we can go to the next question.
Okay, yeah, so this is just a huge amount of, it's like a great pipeline of production, and through it, there go like different stories, different histories, and different experiences of people that are kind of intensified in the shape of your avatar. I guess my question would be to you and to Ashley and Andrew, like, what was it like being a part of this production pipeline? As far as I understand, you've constructed the world from scratch for the performance at Garage. So how was it technically engineered?
So I can jump in first. So yeah, it was a really interesting project to be on, just because it draws from so many different sources. So, I mean, just even working remotely with you guys, this is the first performance we've had that's been like completely remote. We haven't had anyone on the ground. We also did another live stream performance last year. But because that was in Shanghai, LuYang was able to work directly with the venue. So we've already got, we already had this distance with this project where we were all working separately, having to sort of like communicate, having to discuss the performance over the plan for the performance.
Yeah, but we've actually been developing this performance, a live motion capture performance, since 2018. Was the first kind of prototype, which was a very rough prototype in Hong Kong, but at the Hong Kong Visual Arts Center, where we use like HTC Vive trackers, which is a much cheaper kind of technology. And then we presented it in Hangzhou and then in Shanghai at the Rock Bun Art Museum. And progressively, each time it gets more technically complex. There's more characters, there's more visual effects, there's more complexity to the choreography as well. And this time what we did, the new aspects that we added for this performance were the facial tracking. So in all of the other previous performances, we never had facial tracking. And you could also destroy buildings. So the dancer could physically interact with things in the virtual scene and destroy things. And also the camera views. So there were multiple new camera views, such as like inside buildings or inside cars or moving cars and things like that, or street views where you could look up at the giant doku. So those were kind of different aspects that were also inspired by various manga kind of ways of viewing the city and in a kind of cinematographic way.
And then bringing this all together as well, this is probably, as Ash was saying, this has been a project that has been building over many iterations, but I think this one had the most different sources of like collaboration. So we were working with LuYang. LuYang was actually arranging the scene. So she took a model of New York as a famous city that often gets destroyed in media. And then she was building it up with a lot of sort of Japanese manga style buildings in place of the original buildings. And she was sending that back to us, and we were then optimizing it so that it could actually run as a real-time program. So like dynamically switching buildings on and off, converting buildings into these destructible buildings so that when Doku hit them, they could crumble. That also needs to be optimized so that it would run fast enough, as the destruction code we use is generally designed for a much smaller scale, not like whole building blocks being leveled. But then also the Doku character that was developed by a different studio. So we had to bring that into the project as well. And then we also had the motion capture system, which was Rococo for this one. This is the first time we've used that particular system, and that's a suit-based system. So a lot of the previous motion capture performances we've done have involved setting cameras up, and that's how the motion system would track body movements. And this one is just purely a suit, which gives more flexibility on stage, allows for a quicker setup and larger range of movement, but does come with its own issues as well, especially around stability, as it doesn't have nearly as much data as a camera system has. And yeah, and of course, because of the pandemic, like all of these like separate elements coming together, us in Hong Kong, LuYang in Shanghai, the studio, you guys in Moscow, we're all doing that remotely. And that's the sort of first time we've had such a large kind of remote collaboration for a project.
But also, yeah, working closely with the garage team, who had like had to find the dancer, the music, and also triggering the visual effects live using a game controller and keyboard, and the off-screen actor for the facial tracking.
Yeah, it was a great experience, to be honest. And yeah, it was, I know it almost was not weird to do it remotely at that point already, but still, yeah, really, really impressive. Well, among the things that you've mentioned, I'm quite interested in the way the city was constructed and like how it was chosen, because it is like more or less New Yorkish, but it does have some some changes to that. Lu, probably you could tell about how you worked with that.
Sorry, I haven't. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. So I was wondering about the city that is present in the world, like how it was constructed, what it was based on, and how it was like engineered to find the form that we've had at the performance.
Oh, you mean the city models inside the game?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm always feel like very interested in like tokusatsu film in like from Japan, for example, Ultraman, like or Godzilla, like the huge hero, like fight with the huge monsters. And during that fighting, a lot cities or the buildings will be destroyed. So I'm wondering if I can let Doku be this gigantic hero and fighting in this city. And also I'm thinking about for our past practice, it's always just have the motion capture data, and it's just a perform like that, like form in different thing. But this time, if we can do some interactive, like the dancer can wearing the suits, and the dancer's motion can interact with the virtual world, that would be very funny. And even he doesn't feel anything in the physical world, but inside the virtual world, he is fight destroying the buildings or fighting with others. So it for me, it give me a feeling like between the real and unreal. Also, it's some like a religious ritual, like give me this kind of feeling. So I think that this performance in Garage is we tried many new things inside. So it's very very funny trying. Also, we cooperate with different dancers, and they have their own style, and we never face those dancers. But if it's not the COVID, we really wish we can work together with dancers and also musicians.
Right. Well, Banzai, I'm wondering how was it for you, like being in the city as a huge LuYang's avatar, practically almost destroying like it completely.
Всем привет.
Hi to everyone. Thank you very much, LuYang, for inviting me to this performance. Actually, for me, it was very interesting to be part of this process. Lu said that such a technology was available, and I was not sure about whether this suit would really react to my movement. And then I saw it, and I really got deep into the process and into my childhood, and I could actually do what I wanted in this virtual space, and I could play around, and I could show my style and highlight also the style of the performance. I was particularly impressed by the overall shape of this performance and by the tension of this performance, because being there for 30 minutes, it's a real challenge for me. I love various experiments, and this experiment with music, technology, and with the very place where the performance took place was very exciting, and I really liked it. I also was able to discover whether I was ready to that, whether my body was ready to that, and whether I was able to really dive deep into the state.
Thank you so much for that. So yeah, you've mentioned happy hardcore, which was a proposition from Lu to the musician, to Stas actually, who did like this special set he recorded. Stas, I'm wondering about how you've perceived this kind of world that you were kind of being embedded into, and what were your orientations in that, and what was your like intention here?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hope you hear me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for inviting me for the performance, because it was super fun actually. Yeah. As you already mentioned, it was a happy hardcore set. I'm not a DJ. I mean, I used to be a DJ back like whatever 10 years ago, but then I completely changed the direction, and now I'm more like working with all this boring sonic art, blah blah stuff. Sorry, I'm in a really noisy place right now. Yeah, so it was a challenge, first of all, because I don't even remember when was the last time I was listening to a happy hardcore track. And then I thought, yeah, okay, it should be fun. And the first thing, it was fun. And then I started to just, whatever, research the internet, just to search for everything related to happy hardcore, to Russian happy hardcore. First of all, and found all this crazy like pop song remixes, like national anthem of Russia, some Kazakh songs, and so on. And I think it really clicked. So I think it really worked very well in the end. And I don't know. I mean, the huge avatar is destroying the city, and then there's the national anthem of Russia is playing in a happy hardcore remix on 180 BPM. Come on. You don't really encounter with it that much often.
Разрушаю город Нью-Йорк. Извините.
Yeah, destroying the city of New York at the same time.
It's kind of, yeah, now I see it's in a really political sense. But yeah, of course, it was just all about fun. Thank you again for inviting me. It was really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So, yeah, it's as you've described it, it's like really almost a frightening place to kind of find yourself in, right? It is like somewhere at the boundary of frightening and kind of all-consuming. And yeah, I was actually wondering, Lu, like, how do you relate to local and global in your work? Because you do have this locality in city, and you do have this locality in the choice of music, like Russian happy hardcore being like located in Russian, and together with that, the avatar that you create, I believe, is like absolutely transnational, or probably does not even care about those kind of boundaries. But yeah, I wonder what you think about that.
Think about the boundary about the music, or
probably like national boundaries, or like local and global boundaries, something like that.
I think it's actually difficult to say. I think I'm just a creator, and when I create things, I never think about the boundary, or also where to like to separate too much clear. I can use this, or I can't use this, like this kind of thing. It's just like if something are from, maybe I can trying to reach out those kind of thing, and then I received all those information and combine or rebuild my own world like this kind of way. And of course, I listen to many music. It's quite international music taste. When I was a student in my high school or something, yes, I've listened to many global music. So I don't think music also other kind of things, they have too much boundaries.
And doesn't this way, I know the media itself shapes somehow the work you create as well, or do you believe that there is this kind of feedback there?
Sorry, what?
Like does the media of this super transmedium performance actually shape itself? I mean, so through this technological mediation that you offer, we do get this like super great energies. And how do you work with them, or what is your interest in working with like this exaggerated energies and exaggerated intensified milieus?
Oh, sorry, I don't get it. So what's the question?
Like, what is the role of media intensification in your work, I guess?
Media.
Well, yeah, like intensified media, because you know, we have the avatar presented at like a super great screen, and it is also transmitted like all around the world in live, and we also have like this super energetic music coming in, so that is a kind of a really high amount of energy. Like, how do you work with those amounts of energy, and why do you find them attractive and interesting?
Yeah, I think it's most based on my own taste, and I think for the live performance, or especially for live performance, I like the feeling about all energies it comes together, and will have a very strong energy at the same time. So the visual, also technology, music, the equipments. All those things, yeah, I want to make it very powerful.
And probably Stas and Banzai, I'm wondering, as like people who are great in those levels of intensity, how did you feel working with it, or was it something, you know, different for you, or
Yeah, I can say it's for the intensity.
Yeah,
I can start. Yeah, because the initial idea was to put everything on 200 BPM, and somehow it didn't work because because it was just too fast for Banzai to move, and it was really tiresome. And then we just reduced the tempo to 180, and then it kind of worked, but it was still really fast and like over exaggerated probably. And I think it's somehow it I mean, as I said before, it really clicks. I mean, it really works together well because everything on the screen like super like flashing lights, like everything is exploding, and then what Banzai was doing on his podium on his dance floor is super great. And then the most amazing thing I think is that people who came, so like I think like half of the people who came to see the performance, they weren't just really sitting here and watching what will happen, like, you know, like just a regular spectators in a theater or whatever. And so they really joined it. So they filled the dance floor, and they were really like dancing and losing their shit like on the floor. That's what I think is the best, and I think it really worked. And it's great that it's only 30 minutes, because I mean, put it like 5 minutes longer, it's just too much. Everyone will just die. So it's kind of a workout session in the Contemporary Art Museum, which is also a great thing, of course.
А для меня это интенсивность.
And for me, I would compare this intensity with marathon running, because the tempo that we chose for the sound was very fast. And I also like to work with tempo and with rhythm in my plastic art. So I really care about the rhythm and the rhythmic scheme. Perhaps you remember the point when the avatar did not have enough time to repeat the movements after me because I was moving too fast. And it was related to the fact that the rhythm of the music was very fast. My goal was very challenging, to bring together all of these moments, the visual, the sound and live moments. And I had the feeling of being on an open air, and when spectators came to the scene, I felt this intense support, and I also felt that we increased the level of intensity altogether, so it was just a big and cool explosion.
Just continuing about this kind of intensity presented in the performance. It was, by the way, funny that there were two types of audience that we've had. So there were people like really dancing like like to their death almost, and there was also part of the audience that was like sitting neatly and looking at it as you would look at I guess normal performance at the museum, which was also interesting, like concerning the position of the viewer, which was like very different and very fragmented, because you could also be a full-blown viewer looking at it in live on the YouTube as well. And I was interested also, Lu, in how you kind of staged the idea of this performance being also live transmitted, and what does it mean to you for you to be like to have the audience elsewhere in the world, together with your body being elsewhere in the world, together with your avatar being elsewhere. So there is a lot of those positions. What is your interest in those?
Yeah, I think it's quite fun, like something I never expected. Like I saw, first I just watched my own performance through YouTube, and the second thing is I saw there's a lot audiences is dancing so crazy, and this is so fun. And then it's gave me a lot of feedback, like people they can have the interactive with the whole performance. And yes, I think there's some extra things bring to this performance.
Mm-hmm. Just continuing that thought about the this sort of really strong energy. There is surely a lot of destructive part of this creative energy that we have in the performance, and as Ashley and Andrew have told, like one of the most like intense correlations of the avatar with the world was like this destruction, this destruction of the buildings and so on. And I'm wondering how it relates to practice and probably to your research on reincarnation and like death, and I think it tackles a lot of religious ideas. I'm wondering how you comment to that.
Yes, I think all my works, they have connections. Like the last work I covered with MetaObjects is a game. We did it in Unity 3D, and this game actually allows avatars. Some avatars we can see in Garage Performance actually from that game as well, and also from my other artworks. So I'm building my own world, or I can try to select some avatars I've created put into another world, like this kind of thing. So the reincarnation mostly should have the reincarnation stories inside a more complete game or in a video, something like this. And so for our past last game work, I set up different levels. Actually, once you finish the game, you can feel you are actually doing the reincarnation inside the virtual world. You have traveled to heaven and also hell, or human beings world, or Asura's world, or animals world, and like sometimes you have to find a weapon to fight with the monsters, to fight with the enemy, also actually the enemy is yourselves, something like ideas or your desire. So you have to fight those kind of symbols. Yeah, so actually all the works, they have the connections and but the performance only bring the visual things mostly, but we can change the different background or different models from the environment. It's still, I think it's different versions of my work.
I just have a question about this world. I know your Doku series is about the 6 afterlives of the samsara. So is the city world one of those afterlives?
Yeah, I think the city is mostly, it's a human.
It's a human world.
The concept is human because it's a city, and Doku's suit also from my human character setup. So later, I think I will catch a chance to make another 5 realm of reincarnation, like animals world or astras or hell, heaven.
Ashley and Andrew, I wonder if if you're also working on some of those worlds as well.
I mean, I think the last one we did in Shanghai, that was mostly the hell world. That was designed by Extreme John. And then I think the other ones we haven't quite worked on yet, but they kind of feature in the game, but we're not sure if it wasn't like developed into a kind of performance.
I mean, these are all really LuYang's world. She assembles all of these scenes herself.
I wonder, does it, I don't know, somehow reflect on the production pipeline, just that you're working with such a like great idea of reincarnation, which has, you know, had a history of thousands of years, and together with that, you're working on this engines that kind of allow to you know, really briefly switch your body, briefly switch your surroundings. Did it somehow have, I don't know, almost probably a factual sense for you just working on it?
I mean, it's like, again, because LuYang is creating these worlds and then giving them to us, we always sort of discover these worlds just like a viewer watching the performance discovers them.
I mean, I just wrote an article about the motion capture works for this journal that is dedicated to the work of LuYang. And I talk about kind of the development of this motion capture performance as an iterative process. So you're always kind of repeating, but it's always different every time, and it kind of grows in complexity and it expands. And this is kind of almost like one's life journey. You know, you're going through the various worlds of the afterlife, and you know, each time you learn, but you never quite transcend into the digital, or like to the where you don't have to continue to repeat all your same mistakes and things like that. So I kind of see this process of collaborating as a kind of ongoing evolution of a work that kind of gets more complex. You make mistakes and you learn along the way, and you know, it's kind of connected also conceptually to the work in a way.
Yeah, Lu, I was wondering also if you could talk a little bit about the other avatars that Doku kind of becomes, grasps their forms.
Yeah, I think I can also still share my screen, and then I can show a little bit of other avatars. Actually, I started to create avatar from like 10 years ago. For example, this is quite, I think this is like one of the most famous avatars I've created, called User's Man. It's a Japanese anime style. So in this video, I created this avatar called Uterusman, and I just designed all his clothes looks like a uterus, and he just used all the power actually from uterus. So I designed different superpowers for him. Then some other avatars I created is the one I just mentioned. I covered with the MetaObjects, and this is the great adventure of material world. So material world is a concept from Buddhism or Hinduism. They think the world say separate with a material world, or like more like a consciousness, or more like beyond the material. Like material is the container for our body or for all living things. So it's actually again recording video. Then so you can see in this game, I also included the avatars I created from 10 years ago. So the first level is Uterusman.
我们的出生是偶然，一起随机
material
的吗？
world night. And they are talking about how human being like born, or how our body be combined with different flesh and organs. How like how our consciousness start to working, how we like think this have the idea of what is what. Then some different word, like this word actually in sixth realm of reincarnation is the Bado. So Bado is the gap between life and death. Then in Buddhism they say the like once you're dead, you are not go to your next life directly. You have to wait a little bit inside the bottle, and during that time you don't have a physical body and nothing can help you, but you still have the experience or habit from your past life. This work also connects with my another work, Delusional Mandala. There are so many ideas or concepts from that work. Then you can go to heaven, but this heaven is just my own like my own taste heaven. I think heaven sure looks like cute, and this character is from another work. The girl, she can use the superpower to control human being or living things direction, because that's a technology we already have called GBS, like a galvanic, like some stimulation on your brain. Then inside here you can see another version of me. So once go to another level, he have to find a weapon called Vajra. And during that time, this is another avatar, but it's not the avatar is not my avatar. Actually, he's from Tibetan Buddhism. This is the most wrathful deity from Tibetan Buddhism. But I working on this avatar from my another work called Wrathful King Kong. So all my works is mostly combined with different avatars I've created, or the avatar like this. He inspired me a lot. So this is the brandology. You can see the brandology gods here. That's also connect with my another work. Also, those avatars, they actually appeared in our past motion capture performance. So from 2018 to now, I think we already performed those avatars, all the avatars we have. Yes. Okay.
Right. Yeah, they're absolutely great, and yeah, they do embody the worlds that they are kind of spawn into or from. I know, Banzai. I wonder how you were feeling like being the body of those at different times.
Когда была первая репетиция.
Well, when we had our first rehearsal, I was shocked with how different the avatars were, and with the avatars themselves, especially that Shiva-like avatar that had a lot of heads. But being in the avatar itself, me being able to manage it, to do whatever I wanted, I was extremely curious about that. That was an exploration. And I actually felt like I wanted to take more time for every avatar to find the way of moving that would express how different the avatars were. It was a very interesting experience for me.
Yes, thank you. But and I also have some ideas. Like I think when Banzai, he like wearing the motion capture suits and trying different avatar switching. I think it's really like another way of reincarnation. Or another way of like a summon. Like he is a summon master, and he can like descending his spiritual into different digital avatar bodies. So I think this is another way of nowadays, like the technology timing, we have this kind of ritual to transfer or descending of our soul, our spiritual into different digital body. And it's looks
Да,
like
вот этой вот
also,
чувствительности.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also a lot about sensitivity, you know, like I was feeling the avatar, I was like merging with the avatars, like being one single being, and I was passing on what is going on in my mind into the avatar.
oh yeah, I'm very happy to hear this feedback. Thank you. Yeah, now I get some new ideas.
Stas, I was wondering if you were having, I know, some ideas of, this really brief and quick switches between the styles and between the like heritage of the music that you were choosing, that could be also kind of resembling this idea of like instant reincarnation, like reincarnation gone, I don't know, berserk almost.
Yeah, sure. I think still like happy hardcore is a funny genre, but it is still like a genre of rave music in general. We care about the hashtags, and so the rave music always had this, how to say, the transcendent potential. So you would always suggest people to transcend, like leave their jobs, leave their everything, and then just go wherever else and just dance and have fun, you know, like using a huge level of euphoria as well. And yeah, and from this angle, if you, yeah, how to say, I'm not keen on like all these super boring, perfect mixes when like you can barely understand if there's a new track coming or it's still the previous one playing. So I really like when it's like when it just really goes super fast, so from one to another, but still not losing the BPM, not losing the tempo. And yeah, of course, it's a kind of the I don't know, the transcendence in the modern world with an ADHD syndrome, when like everything is just like super, you know, like super fast, and the mood is changing as well. So first of all, there's, yeah, you hear the anthem of Russia, and then it's something completely different, and then it's something scary, and then it's something funny, and then it's another song that is both scary and funny. And when you see the screen, I was really like pushing buttons, and then like always like watching what's going on the screen, because I could barely yeah, I could barely understand the thing, and it was really mesmerizing. Then I was like, yeah, okay, so the avatar changed, I need some other mood. But yeah, in the end, there is such thing, of course.
Lou, how did you like this work with music, and how was it for you to check it out, and I know how did you feel it during the performance?
Yeah, I think for the music, or why I give hardcore like this kind of for music style, because it's actually my own taste. Sorry. And then I'm feeling when we doing performance, if the music like very fast or very crazy, and people they are, I think it can like the things I've already mentioned, just to put all the very powerful things together, and it will be extreme powerful, like this kind of feeling. And I found out the music this time. The music it's very special, like the style I never heard before. It's more, yeah, like people they of course they can know this is Russia hardcore.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a very special
Yeah.
corporation. It's very cool.
Yeah, I thought the music selection was great too, because
Yeah.
it works. It's totally like LuYang's style, but like it's very distinctly like Russian, you know, but it's kind of, I mean, music is kind of, you know, the type of music is global, but there are kind of local kind of flavors that is taken up even with dance as well, you know. It works very much with LuYang style, but there is something local about it that is different, that makes it interesting. Yeah.
It brings us a lot like extra feeling, extra things like I haven't expected before. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. So I don't know. Do we probably maybe any one of you has some remarks like before we have to be ending? I don't know, probably something to share or something to ask as well.
Хотелось бы повторить.
I would like to do it once again.
That's something derived from the reincarnation logic of the performance, I guess. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us, and it was a great conversation, and it was really great to meet you all once again, and I hope we'll be keeping in touch, and thank you so much for your inputs, and yeah, see you then. Yeah, and bye all. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.